Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of Orangeline. I'm your host, Patrick Murch. Let's get this week's show started off with Chris Atlakson taking a look at how the healthcare bill is affecting students on campus.
The new healthcare bill is doing more than just allowing one to remain on their parents' health plan until the age of 26, which many college students are worried about at the end of their college career. The new healthcare bill presents a new law, which is the Student Aid and Fiscal Responsibility Act. This improves the current program, which supports banks making no-risk student loans. These student loans are said to save taxpayers around $60 billion.
Now that I know about it, because now I don't have to worry about, like I said again, about going out straight out I get to college, trying to get a job to hurry up and pay these loans.
Much of the savings will go directly back into education by making Pell Grants more available to more students and increase said grants to nearly $6,000 by 2017.
I think it'll help me because, like I said earlier, we don't have to pay that much back, and it'll put more money in my pocket for stuff that I need instead of, just having to pay all this money and take out all these loans, and I have more money in my pocket from scholarships for stuff that I need.
This means that more than $48 million in newer Pell Grants will be accessible to students. These Pell Grants will also be indexed annually to help with the growing cost of living. This means the Pell Grants will be provided and listed for students to take advantage of.
Well, now that I can get more money from the Pell Grants, with obviously the tuition's been raising all the way across the country, it's definitely going to help me out and counteract the tuition raise.
Another thing that the new health care bill is offering college students is the student loans that they take out will be made easier to repay because they will be much more affordable. For those more accountable borrowers, they will be entitled to complete forgiveness.
I don't have to worry about getting in debt, and so that's really how it changed my view. So,
this has been Chris Atlakson for KNBU-TV.
Thanks, Chris. Now we're going to send it to Dannie Harris, who has a story about the new changes at Liston Stadium.
Liston Stadium is getting a new renovation. The turf on the football field is being replaced because of problems with it wearing too quickly.
Normal turf has an 8 to 10 year guarantee on it, and we had noticed that the lighter green we have a light green, dark green shade on it. The lighter green was coming up quicker, meaning particles were getting loose and we were picking them up in our sweeper. And so we just kind of did some looking at it and said, hey, we're going to have field turf out and take a look. And they did. They brought up 3 different crews, did testing on it. It was kind of crazy. You could see them down there, scientist-type guys down there testing it. And in the end, they came to the conclusion that we were correct, and we had to do something about it fairly quickly from a liability standpoint. So we moved very quickly, had negotiations with them, and the best alternative to the situation, timing-wise.
The cost of the new turf will be $100,000. A new turf would typically cost $1.2 million. The football team has already raised enough money to pay for over half the cost, and renovations are running smoothly.
I don't know how many people know what's going on out there, and that's kind of nice. I've kind of put on the hard hat a little bit and gone out there and worked with the workers out there and removing the old turf. That was kind of a mess. We've had 2 track meets during this time, the Baker relays, and then the high school had a big meet last Thursday, and things have gone real smooth.
Junior and defensive lineman Charleston Dela Cruz is excited about the changes.
Changing the colors, because how we originally had our colors was orange and blue. Now it's black and orange, back to black and orange, so they're changing that too.
The new turf should be finished by April 12th. This has been Dannie Harris, KNBU-TV.
Thanks, Dannie. Now we've got our question of the week, where I ask students what their favorite spring sport is.
My favorite spring sport is track and field.
My favorite spring sports are sand volleyball and ultimate frisbee.
My favorite spring sport is volleyball, but I also love watching the softball and baseball teams, and I also enjoy track as well. But volleyball is definitely still my #1 spring sport. So.
My favorite spring sport is baseball. It's been my favorite sport growing up, and it's kind of stuck with me through the years.
My favorite spring sport is tennis.
My favorite spring sport would definitely have to be track and field. My favorite spring sport is tennis.
My favorite spring sport is all of them because they're all fun to watch.
As a football player, my favorite spring sport is spring football. Now we're going to go to a quick commercial break, but stay tuned because we have Susan Wade from the CDC coming in for an in-studio interview.